So welcome everybody to the July gathering of BODHI MAGGA. Today's session is led by Dr. Shiroma Bandara. I will not specifically introduce Shiroma to everybody. We are all very, very familiar with our wonderful teacher who's been with us over the many years, guiding us on the path. Today's theme, we are continuing our exploration of the 7 factors of awakening, the Bojjhanga Dhamma. And today we focus on the 4th factor, which is PITI, which I think Shiroma will do a wonderful job, because I know she lives and breathes the bliss of meditation, and is always really happy to share her experience and her knowledge and wisdom about that with us. We're also looking at how the 4th factor, or PITI, counters the hindrances in our lives, and also within our formal practice. And as we often do, this session will include in-session meditation, certainly teachings from Shiroma, but also a Q&A at the end. As you know, we have a monthly program now, and we meet 6 to 8 p.m., usually on the 1st Friday of the month, or if not on the 2nd. And after the welcome and introduction, we have the interactive Dhamma talk and the guided meditation, followed by Q&A and blessings at the end. So without any sort of further ado, I would now like to ask Dr. Shiroma Bandara to commence the session for today. And thank you so much for stepping in and helping with the program today. We look forward to your teachings very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gihanta. Hope everybody can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very well.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, there you are. Now I can see you all. And it would be nice if I can see faces, but it's up to you, actually. So it's up to you as long as we interact. Now, today is PITI Bojjhanga, as Gihanta said, is the 4th one in the list. And Paul beautifully and very insightfully covered from the beginning up to the 4th one. So we are in the middle, in the 4th one. So I think it is prudent that we all go through the 7 so that we know where we are at the moment. So everyone can participate, actually, because the more questions you ask as we go along, we can deal with the little nitty-gritty doubts you have or questions you have. Is always best to ask, because we are like one family here, and just go away and fire your questions. So to begin with, Bojjhanga, what does that mean? That Pali word Bojjhanga is in a more like in an understandable way. There is another word called Bodhianga. Right? When Bodhi means what? Bodhi means kind of realization, like an enlightenment. So Anga is the 7 limbs of the realization. So what I want you to understand today about Bojjhanga, unlike any other like Passaddhi or Samadhi or Pekka, these all these together, Bojjhanga means they are something within us. We are the Bojjhangas. It's not we are going to get Bojjhangas. We are going to develop Bojjhangas. Bojjhangas develop within us causally, say automatically or causally, because of our practice. So when we take Sattva Bojjhanga as a subject, we put it in front now, like we are going to discuss about metta or something like that. Like that, we take the subject, but it is not actually something that we can take and discuss as something at the beginning of the path. So I like you all to think this is something that gets fulfilled. This, okay, some people say, oh, we are practicing Bojjhanga. I don't know what that means, because for me, it is when you practice the path, Bojjhangas get fulfilled. What comes to my mind is like eight pots. If 8 pots are put one under the other, and you pour some water to the first one, and they fill up and keep on filling the other 8 pots. Or like the champagne flute, the champagne flutes that you put at a wedding. You see, you pour some champagne at the top, and they all get filled up, and it goes on like a process. The filling up of the Bojjhangas goes as a process when we practice the path. So if you look at these things like in a dynamic way, like a process, like an activity, it's not like our 7th chapter of the book is Bojjhangas. Just take it like it is in your mind and body, in your mind set. These things are happening constantly, all the time. All the time we are in Sati Bojjhanga, the first one. All the time we are in Sati. And then as we are in Sati, Dhamma Vijaya, we see, oh God, that is arising, passing, or that is passing. And then that is investigation of the Dhamma. Dhamma Vijaya. So as you're in the Sati, Dhamma Vijaya happens causally. So you can't just take, oh, it's PITI, I'm going to practice PITI today. You can't take one out and practice. They're all interlinked. They're all in a process like a river flowing. So Sati will give rise to Dhamma Vijaya, and to keep the Dhamma Vijaya going, you need the Virya, constantly keeping the mind at Sati, the Virya Bojjhanga works. And as those three work together and your mind is in Sati, the fourth one becomes Piti, joy and rapture. Now, I wonder how many can think, how come being in Sati, seeing the reality, putting some effort, how come we get joy? Can you figure it out? How is it? What is the process? And in the book, it says Piti, then it comes Passaddhi, Samadhi, and Upekka to follow the 7. So, in the practice, in actual practice, this is the list in the book. In actual practice, this yogi is in Sati, in the present moment. And as that person goes on, the second way they say, seeing the cause and effect, and the cause is disappearing, effect is disappearing, oh, this is arising, that passed, and these are passing. And then you're putting more virya to keep. Virya is to keep the mind in the present moment, which is mindfulness, which is Sati. And then as you're going, the fourth one becomes Piti. So the Piti, the joy and rapture, I feel is more like effect of the first 3 than, oh, I'm going to practice Piti. Can you go and do that? I somehow don't think so. I think it's like an effect of the other 3 working. The Piti comes. So we'll keep that in mind, and we will investigate in the path how that happens beautifully. Okay? So, and again, I like you to concentrate on 3 points that I'm going to highlight today from the sutras, which will give you a real a view of the importance of the Bojjhangas and how the Bojjhangas come in our practice from the start, from any one of our practices. How does it develop to Bojjhangas? So in reality, if someone says to do a practice, and okay, that led to that, and the Bojjhangas are filling up. So we know in the back of the mind, we are only doing this, but a huge process is happening within you, in your wisdom, in your faculties, actually the faculties. That word came to me, I think we'll just talk a little bit of the faculties. I'm going to ask you this question. Who is going through this path of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bojjhangas are developing? Who is going through the path, or what is happening? After all, Buddha's teaching is about anatta, and there is no person. I am practicing sati. Based on that, I think we have all got that background knowledge to address this question that way. Based on that, who, if there is no one, what is happening? What is developing? What is going forward?
The 5 faculties, the indriyas are developing, which are like,
Yes.
so the faith and the Shraddha and the Virya with mindfulness balancing with the Samadhi and the Panna. It's a process that is happening, and we are realizing it.
Yes. So for those who this is new, there are the 5 faculties. The 5 faculties doing this journey, right? The 5. Do you know the 5 faculties? It's faith, Shraddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Prajna. There are 5 faculties. They are called Indriya Dharma. So these 5 Indriya Dharmas, I can't hear you, Gyanta.
Could you kindly repeat the 5 faculties again?
Yeah. So they are called Indriya Dharma, or 5 faculties, and they are Shraddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Prajna. So those are the 5 faculties actually developing. If you imagine 5 forces developing, right? So we know what is happening. There are these that are the ones that we call, I am meditating, I am going to Nibbana. It's not actually, it is these 5 faculties. And later I will show you, it's so beautiful how these 5, what happens to the 5 faculties in this journey, practical journey. Right?
Shiroma,
So
when you first asked that question, what came to my mind, it's interesting that Dil mentioned the 5 faculties. What came to my mind were the 5 aggregates. When you said what was happening here, can you distinguish between the 5 faculties and the 5 aggregates?
Yes, that's a good question. Now, 5 faculties are kind of our object that we are watching. We are lost in the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates is where the delusion is created.
Okay.
Because we are clinging to it. So 5 aggregates become clinging aggregates, and that has caused a delusion. We are all in that ignorance, avidya. And these 5 faculties are what's going to crack it.
Okay.
Okay. So I will give you a nice simile to this. And maybe I will do it, give it now. Now, think carefully and see if one is to, now this is a very good question. If one, as Gyanta said, has to see through and understand the clinging aggregates, and the 5 faculties are being sharpened to do it, where should the 5 faculties be operating? Can you think about it? Practically, this is all practice. In the practice, the sati will give you a clue. Sati, virya, to develop the prajna because of shraddha. Where should the sati be focused?
I mean,
so that we crack these clinging aggregates.
It's somewhere in the nama part, isn't it? In the consciousness.
The consciousness is one, but where does the consciousness operate? Consciousness can't operate on its own. It goes and operates with 2 other factors. And where does that 3 meet? Right? The consciousness is nama. This is so important, practical points, right? Consciousness is nama, our consciousness, right? The mental component. So the mental component always arise due to material components. So it is like the 2 hay sheaves, the Bhattakotumiti, Nama and Rupa. Nama works because of Rupa, Rupa arises because of Nama, Nama Rupa, Mahanidana Sutta, Buddha's simile. So the Nama, or the consciousness, as you said, to arise, you need the Rupa part. the material. So the material is twofold, external and internal. External is all the objects out there. Okay, the objects of seeing, the smells, the tastes, the objects out there. And the internal is the eye, nose, tongue, all the five sense bases. All the five senses and the objects that fall on the five bases at the sense bases. Ayatana. At the ear base, nose base, eye base, tongue base, yeah, body. So that phenomena, the three get together. That is where the as you said, the relationship between the aggregates and the sati and what happens. You see, so the five faculties. Answer to the question is five faculties operate at the five sense bases. Do you get that? Hiranti, did you understand that? Yeah? Unmute yourself, Hiranti.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah? You got that?
Yeah, Rupa Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, isn't it? They.
Yeah. So the five, the eye base, nose base, tongue base, ear base, the body, portable body base, that is where the objects fall. And the consciousness goes to each of these bases, and the whole, the seeing arise, the hearing arise, the tasting arise, the smelling arise, the touch sensation arise. So to crack this phenomena, to understand the reality, the five faculties have to work on the five sense bases. Is that all? Lakshman, did you understand that? I can't see any of you. Kumari? So, all right. So there. So now I'm going to give you, this is Venerable Dhammajiva's story, and I have to mention his name when I come out with these beautiful stories. He was saying there are five kings in these five sense bases, and they are karma kings, the sensuous kings, right? Because they are absorbing the karma, absorb sensuality and sexuality and karma raga, and they are having the Vedana, Sanya, Sankara all in the karma world. So for the normal yogi starting the practice, there are five kings in the five sense bases. King, they are actually ruling. The eye is ruling in karma in the eye base. Okay. So this yogi starts meditating, samatha vipassana. And here comes these other five kings, the five indriyas. So at the eye base, because of virya, effort, because of mindfulness, and because of shraddha, and samadhi arise and prajna arise as you put mindfulness in each of these bases. So every time this yogi is in the path, now started the path, there is a battle. That battle between two kings. Let's say the mindfulness king with the his retinue, and this karma king, the sensuous king. So every time we are in mindfulness, we are in the present moment, and we are fighting the sensual pleasures, whereas we lose mindfulness and the sensual king comes and enjoy the pleasures. Can you see the battle going? So in the Pruthagjana person, all in the path, this fight goes on every moment of the day. So we have to see which king is ruling, right? At any minute of the day, which king is ruling now in our sense basis. And this goes on till, say, when the indriyas, the five indriyas lose out, and the five sati and the five kama indriya lose out, and the five other indriyas win, one can say that person has become a sotapanna, because the karma indriya for a certain period has lost, and the other kings are more or less the other kings. The sati has taken over. So this yogi is very much more in sati now, with virya and sati, and less karma, and less anger and sensual pleasures, and less five hindrances. So less five hindrances and more of the five indriyas. And then it's another plateau now. Now another plateau, because these karma things have now kind of lost to a certain degree. And it's the battle still going on. And battle still going on. And the day actually these five indriyas become pancha bala, five powers. Right? Pancha bala, five powers, is the day the yogi has become to the state of anagami. Because now the kama indriya can't come anywhere near, the dvesha indriya can't come anywhere near, so the pancha nivaranas are to somewhat subdued. So it become an anagami. And the more beautiful thing now is that pancha bala being developed and cultivated over the years becomes what? The Bojjhangas. So in our sense basis, now Bojjhangas are fulfilled. And who has it 100% fulfilled? The Arhat. Arhat, isn't it? So can you see the path? And can you see how Bojjhangas fit? And can you see how where we started, how it's developed, and where it's heading towards? Any questions there? Or is that clear? Or that little story?
Yeah, no, it's very clear. So, Shiroma, what you're saying is that, Bojjhanga is not something that you can get into straight away. It works through by developing your five faculties, which kind of counters the five hindrances at the sense basis.
Yes.
Develops into the Panchabala, and then that becomes the Bojjhanga. Can you mention what the five Panchabala are as well?
It's the same.
Okay.
Same becomes bala, because now they are very powerful.
Oh, okay.
They become we have won now. We Kamaraga can't come anywhere near our county or our country, or and Vyapada, anger can't come anywhere near. We are like the powers now.
So, so the five Panchabala are more powerful forms of the five faculties.
Yes. Right? But the powers, they have to keep fighting. They have to keep the fight going. Right? They have to still keep it going. When the Bojjhangas come, the fight is over. Can you see that the whole thing has become you, the Bojjhanga? You have become Sati Bojjhanga. You have become the Dhamma Vijaya. There's no fight anymore. Right? That's the Bojjhanga. So basically, that is the path that follows in our practice, practically. That I wanted you to put the Bojjhangas in the right frame of our practice. Yeah?
Shiroma,
is
something, please.
Dil, what did you say?
So can I just add something? So you beautifully stated it, and once they just expanded it, that these things, you put it in context for all of us. This goes to the 7 factors of enlightenment or the wings of awakening, which are called the Bodhi Dhamma. So the set of the teachings that the Buddha himself formed for the heart of his message are the 4 foundations of mindfulness.
I'll come to that. I'll come to all that.
Yeah. And
now
that's the 5 faculties. Yeah, in that the 5 faculties and the 5 strengths are 2 of the things that lead to the Bojjhangas and the noble.
I'm going to introduce the Satipatthana and all that in the next bit, right? I just wanted this clear frame in your mind, and don't shift from that plane. Because you know where you're going, you know the path, one step second, and you will know individually where you are as well. And every time you get over anger moment and you'll know, oh, this is the battle I won. I'm going forward in this path. And little bits of happiness, that victories, personal victories in your own journey. Because you know the path, you know what's happening, what the battle is. Yeah. Hiranti?
No, my question is answered. You said you'll come back to it.
The same thing. Yeah. So now there's another framework. Now let's come to our practice. So what are we doing? about it. What is our practice? Let's take Anapanasati. Okay, we all do Anapanasati. So here in the Anapana at the end, if you read again, I'll urge everyone to go and read Anapanasati Sutta. Even million times if you read it, it's worth it. And at the end, there is a beautiful stanza that we never kind of take it out and discuss. This paragraph, right? Now there are 3 paragraphs. This is the first one. In Anapanasati Sutta, it says, one who has developed and cultivated the 4 tetrads of the Anapanasati meditation fulfills the Satipatthana Dhamma. Now, do you get it? Now, do you know the Anapanasati? You know the 16 steps and the 4 tetrads, and you know that is right, isn't it? The one who has cultivated and perfected the Anapanasati meditation, the 4 tetrads, has fulfilled the Satipatthana Dhamma. Is that right? Is that clear? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
How?
The first one is Kayanupassana,
Yeah. Yes.
Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana.
Dhammanupassana. So, yes.
16.
16, and then you have to fulfill the Satipatthana Dhammas. And then the second paragraph, then it says, the one who has cultivated and developed the Satipatthana Dhamma fulfills the Sattva Bojjhangas.
Yeah.
So at this 6 sense basis, this battle that goes on with the Indriya Dharmas and the Panchanivarana or the defilements, right? And we go through the Anapanasati Sutta practice, developing the Bojjhanga, Satipatthana Dhammas are being practiced, and that fulfills the Sattva Bojjhanga. Right? So the one who practices this, as you said, the Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana, and perfects it, cultivated and developed to perfection, fulfills the Sattva Bojjhangas. That's clear, okay? And then in the Digha Nikaya Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha says, these 7 factors of enlightenment, that is the Bojjhangas, when practiced and fulfilled, lead to direct knowledge, to enlightenment, to Nibbana. So that's the path, isn't it? That's the clear path, the 3 sentences. So, and there is a sequence. The yogi starts seated down, practicing Anapanasati meditation, breathing meditation, watching the in-breath, watching the out-breath. And the 4 tetras, the Kayanupassana, then comes to watching Vedana, then comes to watching the mind and the Dhammata, the 4. And you cultivate and perfect it, and your Bojjhangas are fulfilled or perfected. Any question in that, or is that clear? Yeah, I think we've heard this so many million times before. Okay.
But it's good to refresh it, because those are the first 2 paragraphs that we don't even bother much about. We only, even the text about going to a solitude and trade, we don't bother. We jump into long breath and short breath and then. So I think it's so good that you taught the first that Anapana Vikave Bhagavad Bhaudika. That is very good that you bring our minds, because we forget, Shiroma.
We forget. So that I thought that is so neglected, that little paragraph. Perfect. And that's what happens with the Satipatthana Dhammas become perfected, and through that the Bojjhangas come. So you see a clear path, and it's happening practically, and it's not as if somebody is going to perfect Bojjhanga straight away. It's a causal phenomena. Even the practice, starting from the 5 Indriyas to 5 Balas to 5, the 7 Bojjhangas, as we discussed earlier. So far, so good?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask this question. How does this actually practically work? So you know that, and then you know the story of the 5 kings in the 5 sense bases, how that develops into the Bojjhangas. Okay, so today we are coming to PITI. Isn't that lovely to talk about PITI? With all the suffering in the world and everybody talking about negativity. Today we have to start talking about PITI, happiness. Is that what we usually get when we see a loved one or have some tasty food or listen to a music? Is that PITI, this PITI?
No. No.
No?
No.
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 This is Niramisa Sukha, and that is no.
Yes, I like others to participate as well. I know I did as well. But this is not this sensual pleasure preeti. This is, it's called Niramisa Sukha, Niramisa, which is like inner spiritual happiness. And then you'll all think, oh my goodness, how do I go from this to that? How do I go from this to that? That's going to be such a challenge, isn't it? And I will tell you, you go from this to that within a second, within minutes, if at all. How? So this spiritual happiness is wholesome happiness. There are no greed, delusion, and anger roots in those. In that happiness, it's a wholesome happiness. And I can even say, I think it's happiness due to letting go of some sort. Now you'll get a clue what I'm trying to tell. It's a happiness of letting go. So what do you let go? What do you let go to go to the inner world? What do you have to let go?
Is it the sense pleasures?
Yes, sense pleasure, the outer world. So you go, outer world gives us the sense pleasures, right? And this outer world, and there's another world right there under our very nose, as Venerable Dhamma says. And it is a shift from there to there, shift from the outer world to the inner world. We all do that. All do that in all our sittings. Because our sitting meditation means close your eyes, close the sense bases, and we go into the inner world. So this Somanasa Sukha, Somanasa Sukha is like inner happiness of spiritual happiness of letting go of the outer world. Okay? And then in the books, they say 5 types of this PITI. Kanika PITI is like a minor thrill that comes when you've gone in and you feel this inner happiness comes like little minor jets, like minor PITI. Then there is the Okkantika PITI, Kanika PITI, Okkantika PITI. It's a momentary and it lasts for a moment or two. The minor thrill. Then it's the 3rd type. It starts rising like waves. Anabhibhuta Priti. Okay? And then
What is
the
that?
4th one.
What is the third one, Shiroma?
Anabhibhuta Priti. It's like rising waves. If you think of your practice, the Priti comes and then it established, then it comes like waves. It's momentary. And then it starts coming like waves, and then it's uplifting your mind. Ubbegga Piti. And then the 5th one, I don't know, this is a way to pronounce it, it's called Parana Piti. Parana Piti, all pervading happiness. Okay. So that's the 5 types of happinesses of the Somanasa, of the inner happiness there. Right? So what is the best sutra? I mean, it's best for me because I like that sutra very much. Where we come across this Sukha Dukkha Adukkama Sukha, which is the outer world, sensuous pleasures, and Somanasa Domanasa, the inner happiness. right? Can you remember which sutra we come across that?
Chula Sunyata Sutra.
Chula Vedalla, isn't it?
Vedalla, yes. Chula
Chula
Vedalla.
Vedalla and Dhammadina
Dhammadina and
Visakha.
Visakha, there a discussion where Visakha Upasika wanted to kind of check where Dhammadina was at that moment in her practice. And this whole conversation came out. So very briefly, not going into too much detail and Pali words there. So we all know the outer feeling is dukkha sukha, adukkama sukha. We all know that. Kumari, you know about adukkama sukha, right?
Yeah, neither pleasant nor
Neither, pleasant, unpleasant,
or unpleasant,
neither
isn't
pleasant
it?
or unpleasant.
Pleasant,
So
yes.
another simile that comes in another sutra is the pendulum. So dukkha is one corner, sukha is in another corner, and the pendulum rests in the middle, which is the adukkama sukha. You know why I like that very much? Because we all think, we were so happy and now we are unhappy. We were so unhappy and we are happy now. But we miss this adukkama sukha actually comes in between dukkha and sukha. Dukkha can never become sukha without passing that neutrality. And that's a good point for our Vedananupassana. And sukha can never jump to dukkha without passing the neutrality. So
Shiroma,
Mm.
sorry, Shiroma, just a quick question. You know, this neutrality thing,
yeah,
it's not that you're ignorant, is it? It's you're still mindful, you're aware, isn't it? Because I've heard some people say that if it's neutral, that you're ignorant or something.
I think that
What is it?
ignorance part plays a bit there.
Oh,
Because
okay.
sukha has low, what is that, greed root.
Mm,
Sukha has
yes.
a greed root, and dukkha has the anger, dvesha mula, right? Dvesha mula roots. But the adukkama sukha, or the neither pleasant or no unpleasant, has the moha mula. It's there. And then again, okay, this is that beautiful explanation Dhammadina Thero gives, says sukha and dukkha. Sukha is what, then Visakha asks, what is sukha? Why is it different to dukkha? What is dukkha and why is it different to sukha? And what is adukkama sukha? Okay. And can you remember the answer she gives? Anyone? Damayanti?
Yes.
Yeah.
When the sukha, you know the sukha, but when you know that it is short-lived, then it is dukkha. There is dukkha as well.
No. Dukkha, at the beginning, it's suffering.
Yes.
At the
And
end,
yes.
it's sukha,
Yeah.
isn't it? And when you take sukha, at the beginning, it's sukha, and when it ends, it's dukkha. Isn't that right? And then the neither pleasant nor unpleasant one, if you don't know about that you're there, it is dukkha, because you get bored, you get lots of unpleasant feelings, you get lonely and boredom and what is this, and it's bland. But if you know that this is where dukkha no sukha is there, and if you know about it, you feel sukha. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Know
Thank you,
about
Shiroma.
dukkha sukha is you're happy. Okay, that's where I am. But if you don't know about it, then you are lost.
Ignorant sort of thing.
You run to get an ice cream to eat, or you run to watch the movie, or do something to get that kick, sukha kick. Right?
So, Rama, can you also say in the same way that, right, to say that yes, when you know it's really ignorant. So if you are in denial or indifference, then you will never know. But when you know it, you will know that this turns to the other one. So that's why that denial.
If you
and
know it or if you don't know.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
So see how beautiful it is. So when Sunday afternoon, after your Sunday lunch, You're lying there thinking, so how boring. I haven't got anything to do now. And then you know, well, it's not in Sukha nor Dukkha, and this is this middle, neither pleasant nor unpleasant place. And suddenly you are okay with it. Yeah, because you know about it. So this is all about the Samisa area, which is the outer world, Samisa, sensuous field. And then when we go to the inner spiritual, inner field, it's called Somanasa and Domanasa. The inner happiness. Now that is where PITI comes. So the minute you close your eyes and you close all the six senses and you're going inwards with the breath or with the calmness, you feel happy. And that is Somanasa. In a minute, matter of minutes, matter of seconds, you can switch to Somanasa. Isn't it? Isn't it so beautiful? Then tell me what Domanasa is. Inner unhappiness. How does that come? How can one...
When you're angry.
No, when you're angry, it is a samisa dukkha. If you're angry about, okay, if you're angry about an outside object.
Yeah, no, what I mean is inside.
Yeah. Then in that case, how does domanasa work? How does inner unhappiness arise?
Unsatisfactoriness in the mind.
Domanasa,
Unsatisfactoriness.
Unsatisfactoriness, because maybe I'm trying hard to go to a jhana. I can't. Yesterday, my mind went to samadhi. Today, it's not going anywhere. So that kind of unhappiness is the inner unhappiness. Inner unsatisfactoriness that is not related to any sensuous object or sense basis. So far, so good.
So just that's an important clarification, Shiroma. So Somanasa and Domanasa are both not to do with the sense basis, but to do with inner happiness and inner unhappiness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in fact, this I would actually urge you all to read this Chula Vedala Sutta, because we've touched so many parts of that already in the Vedana, and she goes into real depth explaining this. And she explains how Samisa Dukkha has to be replaced by Samisa Sukha. And Samisa Dukkha and Samisa Sukha both replace it by Adukkama Sukha. And then replace Samisa Sukha with Somanasa in your practice, Samisa Dukkha with Domanasa. And you've gone inwards now, Somanasa and Domanasa. It's called Geha, the Pali word, Geha Sita, Domanasa, Geha Sita, Sukha Dukkha, like that. It is good for you to, I would recommend after the session to, maybe I will post it in the group so everyone can read it. This beautiful conversation. You know the story about Dhammadinna? Do you know?
Yes.
And now if Gihanta and, happily married others and all having lay life, think, oh gosh, this is not for us. They're a young couple. They're like, Situ means like a lord and lady kind of living in their little palace in this kingdom in Buddha's time. And Visakha and Dhammadinna, husband and a wife. And they loved each other. And I've read so many stories about Dhammadinna. She's very cheeky, lovable. She goes and teases other people. There's loads of stories about her. So when every day when the husband comes home, she runs to the door and hugs and greets the husband, brings him forward, and they have their meal and have a relaxing evening. And the husband used to pass Buddha's monastery on the way back from home, and he used to just drop in there, just briefly drop in and come and discuss a little Dhamma and come in. That was his habit. So this day, when he came back, and as usual, Dhammadina runs forwards to hug and greet her husband, and he pulls back. He pulls back, and she gets a bit alarmed, but she doesn't ask why. She keeps to herself and notices he didn't let her touch him. But she goes inside, serves the meal, and they have the meal together. And while relaxing in the evening, she asks him, "Have I done something wrong to you? Is there anything that has happened unknown to me and unknowingly? Have I done anything?" What? And he said, no, you haven't done anything wrong. No, you haven't been offended me. Then she asked the question, why did you retract? Why did you do that when I came to greet you? Then he says the story that he passes the Buddha's monastery and he had been listening to the Dhamma. And this day, he had attained a certain stage that he cannot touch a female or loved one. And he has given up all that. So he had become an anagami that day. So he explains the whole situation and he says, we have wealth here. You can sell it, or you can live here, or you can sell it, or do what you like. We live happily, but I have to go to Buddha's monastery and I have to meditate now. I can't be in a lay life now. So she says, no, if you're going, I'm going to. Then he says, okay, you can go, but you can't stay anywhere near where I'm staying. You have to go a bit further away to a monastery. And he takes her to that female monastery, drops her there. Now he's meditating with Buddha and she's meditating in the women's monastery. So just barely 2-3 months pass and he sees her coming back. Now he's wondering, like typical husbands, he's wonder what she's given up now. She couldn't handle it. She couldn't do it. She gave up. That's why she's coming so early. Why is she coming back so early? What is wrong now? And then the only way to find out is to have a little Dhamma discussion. So he starts his Dhamma discussion with his own wife, who is Dhammadina. And the whole Chula Vedala Sutta is that discussion is beautiful. It's one of my favorite suttas. She is one of my favorite Arahat Mehenin answers. The way she answers every question up to the Nibbana, and the last question he asks, he says, you've gone a bit beyond now, too far now, when she stops. So he's still not sure. So he goes to the Buddha and tells him about the whole conversation, Dhamma discussion. And then the Buddha says, yes, if you had asked me those questions, I would have answered the same. I would have given you the same answers. So that is the Nidana Katava, the story behind the Chula Vedala Sutta. So the story goes that she had become an Arahat Mehenin when she came back. She's already become Arahat Mehenin once. So it's a lot about the feeling and a lot of explanation about the inner feeling, which is PITI. When developed, it becomes a Bojjhanga. Okay, so the way to go is by giving up the samisa, niramisa. Niramisa is inner, samisa is outside. So giving up the samisa sukha, dukkha, you go to samisa sukha. That's okay. Like you give up what we can say. What do we say? You give up smoking and you start chewing gum or something. Right? To give up dukkha, you take samisa sukha. And then you give up the sukha to go towards the niramisa sukha. And then and the whole of the practice of Vedananupassana is kind of based on that. So we've come to 1 hour gone. So is that time for our meditation? Then any questions here, or shall we do the meditation straight away? Yes. We will do the
meditation first,
we'll
and
do
then
the meditation, and then we'll come to a brief discussion. We'll do maybe 40 minutes of meditation. here. Okay. So,
Thank you.
right,
Very,
let's,
very useful. Thank you so much.
so let's sit comfortably. Just relaxing into the chair. The body is here and now. And let the body just completely relax. Just be happy that this moment is for our inner journey, for ourselves. And all the causes were aligned, so that moment has unfolded. Huge gratitude, because these kind of moments are so rare. And happiness. Just bring your awareness to the body, relaxing. Just sit as if you're floating few millimeters above your chair. Just floating. All the muscles relaxed. And your mind happy. The past has arisen and gone. All the words, thoughts, deeds you did, everything has finished without a remnant. Just let it all go. The future hasn't arrived yet, and it's a mere thought. All the worries, planning, anxieties for the future, it's a thought. Just let it go. Hasn't arrived yet. Now, just feel that relaxed, happy, empty mind in the present moment. The present moment is serene, joyous, and silent. Feel that joy. As I said, it didn't take a matter of minutes to come to taste this inner happiness. So not knowing this truth, there's so many out there suffering unnecessarily. Let's spread this little happiness that we are feeling in our heart, first to ourselves and then to all beings in all directions in the whole universe. So let's bring our awareness to our heart, where this happiness, the mind base, happiness is just overflowing because of letting go. We just let go a whole world outside and coming. So huge emptiness, huge happiness overflowing from your heart base. Just feel that tingling happiness. This is the beginning of PITI Bojjhanga. So feel it. Feel that happiness. It's okay, everything is okay, just the way it is. Everything passes. The moment is happiness now. And spread that happiness to your head area, head and neck area. And then head and neck is lighter and healthier and just relaxed. The chest area filling up with this positive energy, healing you, strengthening you. your hands and arms right to the fingertips. This positive energy of joy and happiness running through to the fingertips, tingling your fingertips. All down the trunk of your body to the back, all the aches and pains disappearing, right down your back muscles, relaxing, energizing with positive energy. This metta, compassion or PITI energy vibrating down both your legs, thighs, knees, down to your ankles and to your toes, sole of the feet, tingling with joy and happiness, good vibration, good health, stamina, vigor, and dispelling all diseases and disorders from the body. Now let's feel this positive energy to our minds, dispelling all angry thoughts, the sensuous, pleasurable thoughts, all irritations, doubts and fears and anxieties. Feeling the mind with peace and happiness. Peace and happiness. Let's spread this metta to all in this group. Our Kalyana Mittas, may them all be well and happy, peaceful and happy. And to all beings in our homes, may them have good health, free from suffering, free from pains, anxieties. May them all find peace and happiness. Come back to your heart base. Feel that joy and happiness bubbling in your heart, overflowing, spreading it in all directions to your neighborhood and your town and city, people who you meet when you're out and about. May them all find peace and happiness, joy and happiness. This inner happiness, powerful energy spreading to the whole country. May them all find peace and happiness, radiating outwards to the whole world. Coming back, feel that huge happiness in your heart. You're shimmering like a star with powerful rays of joy and happiness, moving, spreading to all those who are hungry in the world right now, today, in famines, no food. those who are thirsty with no water to drink, in hospitals with ailing bodies and ailing minds, orphanages, lost and lonely in the whole world, the war zones, shock, bewilderment, loneliness, fear. May them all find peace and happiness. Peace and happiness. Let your priti grow in your mind so that more you share, more you feel it. May them all feel this happiness right now, heart to heart, moment of happiness, peace, spreading this joy to the whole universe, the far, far corners of the universe, to known, unknown, seen and unseen beings, born and yet to be born. May them all find peace and happiness. Peace and happiness. Peace and happiness. Just be aware of that huge happiness in your heart base. And now with the breathing, breathe out that huge happiness to all beings in all directions, to far, far corners of the galaxy, and breathe in all their kindness and love and joy to yourself. So there's no one out there who is angry with you. Breathe out joy and happiness. Breathe in joy and happiness. To the animal realm, snakes and creepy crawlies and tigers and animals. To the lower realms of the hell realms. And then absorb positive vibrations. The human realm, all beings be happy. And their happiness absorb it with the in-breath. And the Deva world, up till the Brahma worlds. Feel the tingling joy in you. And your mind become one-pointed. May even go to a samadhi. Now with this samadhi mind, concentrated mind, let's start our Anapanasati meditation, which we discussed today. Bringing your awareness to the nostrils, base of the nostril, where the air column touches the nostril. And just watch the breath. So sato asasati, so sato pasasati. Breathe in, breathe out naturally. Let's focus on a long in-breath as a long in-breath, long out-breath as long out-breath. Simply watching. You can focus on the touch, the hardness, softness, coolness, warmth. Being aware of the breath getting shorter and shorter. And noting the short in-breath, the short in-breath, short out-breath, the short out-breath. Sense of serenity and happiness. You can watch the beginning, middle, end of the breath and gap. Beginning, middle, end of the in-breath and gap. Let go to the gap. The breath will get shorter and shorter. Like you hardly feel it. And feel that happiness, serenity when you come to the end, to the pause, beginning, middle, end, and gap. See that relief, release of letting go. If this breath is getting subtler and subtler, and disappears, let it go. At this point, we are focusing on the feeling of happiness and joy, and being with the feelings, the happy, inner happy feeling. This happiness is what will develop into a Bojjhanga. The 5 types of happiness. We'll go even into Sukha, serene happiness. The mind will get lighter and lighter. You will see a light like a foggy moonlit sky to a brighter light. As the mind purification happens, Here the 5 hindrances are subdued. There's no karma chanda here, sensuous pleasures or anger, vyapada. There's no sleepiness or doubt or confusion here. So instead of the 5 hindrances, there is this thought, sustained thought, priti, sukha, and one-pointedness, the samadhi factors. Let the sukha, embrace the sukha, overwhelming, tingling happiness and joy. So here we are experiencing priti and sukha through samadhi practice. Let's do a vipassana, like a body scanning meditation, and see what happiness, even deeper, letting go happiness that we can feel and experience. So let's bring our awareness to the top of our head. And focus on the sensations, tingling, tickling around the scalp, scratching, pulling, tugging. So go from one sensation to the other. Around the scalp, and the face, the forehead, coolness. Let go of one sensation and then rising of another. Let go of that, rising of another. The cheeks, itching, scratching, tingling, facial muscles. the neck, the back, down the neck and the back and the chest. Down the arms, where arms touch the body, touch sensation, clothes touching, hands touching legs, and fingers touching fingers. Back touching the chair, down the thighs, touch sensation, cold sensations. Knees down to the sole of the feet. And the feet. And toes. This time going back upwards, see whether you can let your mind fall to the gaps between sensations. The back. The gap is from leaving one place, gap, starting in another place. Look inside the mind, feeling that joy and happiness and sense of well-being, serenity. The 5 hindrances are not arising now. A sense of well-being, the inner joy of Priti. As you practice this, as the defilements get eradicated, the inner happiness and joy increases to Bojjhangas. These are because of the Satipatthana, Dhammas. Some will see the Okanti, the light of purity, and the Sukha, the happiness, inner Somanasa happiness in abundance as you practice. And it's at your fingertips. Okay, so let's finish that meditation for now. Just a minute to look back, to reflect on the Priti, developing inner joy, inner happiness. By letting go of the outside world. So let's take a few deep breaths and allow that samadhi to go down. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
So the reflection is today's Priti. Did we need any outside object to make us happy? And this happiness is at your fingertips. Oceans of inner happiness. Oceans of sense of well-being. Whatever the outside world is, dramas and causes and effects unfolding, you can still rest in peace with this inner happiness. No one can take it away from you. No one. So this is the path the Buddha came to show. And it can develop till Bojjhangas. Can you imagine what the Arahats must be feeling? They must be soaked in happiness and in their world, inner worlds. So as you do this over and over again, your keles, the greed and aversions and ignorance get erased bit by bit. Bit by bit. So the next time, you have an even purer mind. And your what do you say? What else do you need? That's the question. When you have all that inner happiness at your fingertips, and it makes you healthy and happy and well-balanced mind, calm mind, peaceful mind, and you can do your daily work and your duties well. So that's your practice. Any questions? Yeah, still.
It's not really a question, but it is something, particularly after the 3-day retreat that Yanta and Lushani made possible for all of us, which I found very helpful, and I'm just sharing it because I think it might help others. You asked a very important question. So see, you practice these 3 arousing factors, and you come in touch with all this, the PITI, without any of these external things. And how is that? So I question myself, because when I'm in retreat conditions, I used to get this intense PITI, and I was always wondering how this was. And actually, because I reflected on this, particularly with the guidance given by Antikiti Handra, whom I personally spoke to, and I don't know whether this help. I hope it will help and not cause anyone any day. The thing is, there are the arousing factor that we have, which is the third one, which is the virya. And this virya, I know nobody spoke and under it, but somebody actually in London Buddhist, we had a gentleman asked about it, but it got, because the monks were having on a different trend, it got missed. And he asked, and I realized this is something that I also see. This virya is the 4 right efforts. Now we call it sammapadam, names are not important, but there are 4 factors in that. So there is, and even the name Sangvara, Pahana, Bhavana, you don't need. But the important things in one sentence of the Buddha, like you say, it's always cause and effect and whatever in one word. But this is the little thing which when I went to Bojjhanga, the monk there gave this to my daughter, and which I keep with her, and she. And it's these efforts are the Sabba Papa Sakaran Kusala Supa Sampada Satite Pariyodapana Hetam Bunda. When I was 7 years old, my father's old domestic who came to look after us told me if I want to like telling it, so just say this. I couldn't understand the power of it at that time. But much later when I came to meditation, those 4 things, the first 2 were all about the unwholesome thoughts. So now we are not thinking of sensual factors, the thoughts that come, which are always there, unwholesome. And the first one is not to let any unwholesome thoughts, like most of us haven't killed a person. So we never will bring anything like that or mortar, but some of us might have never drunk before, some of us might have never acted in a sexually wrong way, misconduct as a lay person. Some of us may have. So, but some of us may not have, but to whatever degree, for a year, for a day, whatever. And then the second one is not to let the unwholesome thoughts that are already there, whichever reason, to let go, right? The other two are, of course, the second two about skillful thought, which are not written to come. And we always do the other two. We do all those. But those first two things, when you're mindful, when you don't, and one is what I found is, because those days when I used to go to Amaravati, for years we used to do sitting, walking. And sitting was 1 hour and walking was usually half an hour, 40. But then suddenly, about 2 years ago, we were told even early morning, one walk and come. And when you did Chandraratan Swami once says mindful meditation on a Sunday with the Australian group, it's always walking first. And Shiroma also always on a program that you see, if you have done something not so very good, only sit down, whatever you say you've done a terrible thing. I don't know, you might have committed something, hurt someone very badly, even accidentally somebody may have got killed, and an accident because you were whatever, sleepy or whatever. It's very hard to sit down there and close your eyes and not let these thoughts of, what the fear, I did this, I did that, or you misbehaved with your, I don't know, your partner, somebody, anybody. But you see, the thing is that walking meditation, when you observe it, because they're only looking at just and they made it so simple over this weekend. Somebody said, I can't keep it. And I heard Chandra Tahandula telling, if you can't keep left and right, because this person said, I can't do left, right. He said, forget it. Just even do left foot. Start with that, even for 2 steps. Gradually, you can do that. Because you're looking at something which is happening at that time. Placing a simple thing. So these thoughts that are worrying you don't come because they're trying to focus here, gradually build. And that is what, for me, I think, brings the piti, because you are not sitting and letting these horrible thoughts that come bad, you don't come. So I just thought it helped me. And maybe that's why this piti is coming with mindfulness. And when you investigate the Dhamma, I just thought I share. Thank you.
Yeah, so the sati, that's good factor that you shared. The sila is the foundation for samadhi, and if your sila has broken and you've broken a precept and it's worrying you, so that going to priti is difficult. So walking will help. So it's like a moving meditation, isn't it? So it's moving around. The objective is moving. So that's a good point. That, and the virya comes is to not to let unarisen defilements to arise, and the arisen to get better, and so on and so forth. The mindfulness does that. So the actually sati and virya and Dhamma Vijaya helps that. And how does priti comes from here? Now you will all know. Priti will come because hindrances are gone, the keles and the agitating factors are gone from your mind. And even watching in the scanning meditation, when you do it, when you're proficient, watching arising, passing, it gives a lot of inner happiness and joy. Seeing every spot arising, passing down from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, gives huge, and that happiness comes from vipassana, letting go, to deep priti bojjhangas you can go. And the bojjhangas happen as the I and me and mine factor also disappears. Because as you go from anagami to arahat, totally the mania and asmimania, everything is gone, and then it is just pure inner happiness and joy. So as a bojjhanga, and you're there whenever you want to, you go and reside in there. Buddha in the sutras, always there are passages, they were residing in Sukha Viharani. See, they just go and sit under the tree, bo tree, and go to Sukha Viharani. They're not particularly looking at reality of life or anything. Just Sukha Viharani. It's a good thing. Any other questions? How did the meditation go? How was it, Gyanta? Was it good?
Yes, thank you. At the end of a busy week, it was good to
unwind.
Unwind and calm down.
Yeah.
I have a question, and it's not actually related to the sukha and piti as such, but what triggered this question was, we were talking about domanassa and the sadness, inner sadness, outer sadness. So I have a question which I would like to
Go ahead.
present to you. So okay, this is a work situation, Shiroma. So in terms of in terms of work now, it came to be that in some of the work I was doing, there was an omission. So in other words, someone omitted to include me in some work I was doing and something that I'm very involved in. So when that happened, it created obviously a lot of unhappiness within me. I
Was
asked
it deliberate or was it accidental?
Okay, so I don't know yet. I'm finding out now. So it's something that I've been working on quite a bit. So when I heard from another source, because this other source came to me and said, Gihanta, you've been working on this throughout, and now somebody has intentionally or unintentionally not included you in whatever matter, right? And so I thought you should know because you've been involved with this. You should whatever. So first of all, so I'm thinking, I'm reflecting on the thoughts that came to my mind. Of course, first of all, it was almost shock because you're like, oh my gosh, how could that person have done that? Then it was sadness. Then it was actually anger. I went through all these emotions inside of me
because you were thinking a story.
Because I was feeling excluded, right? And so anyway, this thing, and at some point I was quite, I didn't do anything, but I was quite, inside of me, I was quite angry. How could that? And then I was thinking, oh my gosh,
leave you out.
Is this some sort of, is this person trying to, have some sort of almost some sort of, long-term conspiracy of all these things, the mind, okay, the way the mind works.
So
now,
why did you ask him? Oh, did you forget me?
Exactly. So no. So then, and then I felt, so I was having this heated conversation with this other person. But then I thought, okay, I said, look, all this is unnecessary. Let me go and have a conversation with the person in question. And but knowing my mind, I told that person, actually, right now I'm feeling quite agitated. It's probably not the right way to speak even. Why don't we wait a couple of days and let's pick it up and then let's have a frank conversation and resolve this. Why you're doing this. So that's where it is. And in fact, I'll be having a conversation in a couple of days to understand why this happened. Now, but now, so that's where it is at the moment. But now today, the thought came to me. Now, when something like this occurs and you notice this sadness and deep hurt or whatever, do you sort of say, oh, this is passing, this is unhappiness, and unhappiness also is temporary. It will come and it will go, and just leave it at that, right? Because that's one way to do it. I could have just thought to myself, whatever has happened, and I'm feeling unhappiness now, but this is temporary. Like, we learn at the retreat with Dhamma, Jiva Hamdaro, the Chanda, this other venerable also was saying about the Anitya, right? So I could just leave it at that and say, oh, this is Anitya, this is just passing sadness, and leave it at that. And that's, actually, to be honest, today I'm not feeling as agitated as I felt when I first heard this 2 days ago. The general way that I used to function is, you're right, I will actually go to that person and not confront, but I will say, why did this happen? This, and try and resolve it, right? That's the normal way. So what I want to understand is, so do you, normally, like I said, normally I would go and confront the person and then I feel I'm able to resolve it. Or do I just leave it and just say, oh, it's passing sadness?
Yeah.
It will resolve itself. And I
Mm.
just want to know your
Right.
thought.
Yeah. Well, it depends on that what what comes to my mind. I'm sure others will also advise. What comes to now this situation, what happened to you, the person who left you out, this project you were doing, how close were you to that? Like it looks like it is very passionate, was passionate for you and you wanted to be included there.
Yeah,
And
I mean, at one certain point,
was he
yes, I was.
senior to you, or is he?
Yes, not senior, but it's just that we've had a change of team leadership in this situation. But
Okay.
yes, I was leading that aspect of the work. Yes,
Yeah, and then this person comes and forms another committee or whatever, and you're not there.
exactly.
Right. So now we can look at it in different levels. Like Dhammajiva Hamdru and Chandratana Hamdru will be talking about the highest level of giving up. Like they call it like apannaka pratipadawa. Now, if I start from there, because you mentioned them, what they are saying is no attachment, no friction. That's the apannaka pratipadawa. For that, you have to have a very steady mind, right? You include me, that's fine. If you don't include me, I don't have too much attachment to what you're saying. But friction comes because you want it so much and you're not given it, right? So no wanting, we'll sort that out. And no friction. So the wanting is what's keeping you, the suffering comes from. So at their level, what they are telling us is to have no attachment, no friction, apannaka pratipada, wait. And then another theory they are saying is suspended attention. That means you don't do anything and you watch. Even Brahmavansa Hamdro says that the choiceless awareness, suspended attention. You don't do anything and you just wait and let the universe sort it out. Even Dhammajiva Hamdro even recently said if there is a problem, now if there is a bowl of muddy water, if you start putting your finger in and start doing things with it, it will be always churning and muddy. If you just wait and this mud will settle, I think that's the way forward. Let the mud settle like the 2 days you wanted, and then you see clearly. And again, like today, 2 days more to go, but today itself, your wanting is gone. That doesn't mean that you don't do anything. This is very important to the way, the words you will choose when you talk to that person, tone of voice you will choose, and the type of sentences that will come. For instance, if he says, well, because you didn't do this, that, and the other, and some negative something, I'm unhappy about that, and then you will say, okay, you're unhappy about that, and you made this decision. So then you apply no friction, no attachment. I have no friction against your decision. I have no attachment to whatever I want to be in the committee. Right? So that is a higher level that they are pushing us to go to. And then you're calm anyway, and you go there. If it comes, it comes. It doesn't come, it doesn't come. You're calm about it, because there'll be millions of other opportunities in your lifetime. And we don't even know this opportunity dropped for another to come, to pave the way to another one. We don't know the plan and the causal effects and karmic effect of it, or you went there, you did it, and you got into a mess. We don't know. But so allowing, there's a reason for all this to happen. You get your mind stable. That's the important thing. Mind stable, you approach, and then you say, I was just wondering why I was left out. I did a lot of work for this project and I really liked doing the project with the group. And I just noticed, was it a mistake or was there a reason to leave? So you're not emotional. That's it. Don't be emotional. Right? No emotions. That no emotional thing comes because of the Dhamma that's working in you. And say, have a couple of words, suspended attention, apannaka pratipadawa. No, I have no friction or no attachment. for this. So, and what you say comes steady, what you write in an email comes steady. The other one, supposing the other one did it with with negative intentions and negative emotions to cut you down or something like that, that person will feel, gosh, I can't topple this one. I do so many negative things by word and deed, but he's rising up. He's there saying, okay, that's fine, thank you. Then they say, you're a steady person, I can't topple you. Whereas one thing, and you're toppled and you're emotional and you're going and you're blaming them and asking why it's unfair, and they give you a mouthful back. You're left unhappy. Anyway, you're left unhappy. So how I would do it is to work on my mind and say, I'm getting this agitation not because what he did. I'm getting that agitation because I have an attachment to the project and I have an aversion. He didn't choose me. Those two are giving me my own unhappiness. Remember this word, right? Labugediye toile is Dhamma Hamdros. Within this thing, my toile is going, the cause and the effect and everything is in the Labugediye. And we say, you did this to me, you did that to me, and try to correct that one. And that is where the kills and suffering goes. So you worked it out yourself, gosh, I'm having a lot of pain here. Rejection, because I liked doing the project and I was rejected. So the attachment and wanting, and then why didn't he, and that aversion. Those two are the ones that's giving you the suffering, not that person. You have to separate it out, see this commotion. Oh, what is it? Then let it go. There are other projects. So I'm going to start my own project. Who's going to stop me? Oh, he doesn't know. He will know me, and then he will know who I am, my capabilities, and then he will change. I'm going to show him with my actions and words how steady I am. No one can topple me. And this is only one project. How many will you come across more? And you take, okay, let them do it. And you sit quietly and watch that. You feel an inner strength of magnanimity. And let that strengthen you as a Mahapurusha. You know, any Purusha can go and have a fight and have and you will get a project, you will do the project, the next month the project is finished. But here everybody gets this.
Yes, I think when you're feeling agitation, exactly, you are very vulnerable, isn't it? And and in fact, I've already got some feedback, and I can already see that person is sort of saying, I'm, sort of apologizing in some way or the other. I don't know the full context, but the fact that I didn't want to have the conversation 2 days ago, I think is very good, because already I don't feel that kind of urge and sadness. When I first got it, I was so shocked, agitated, almost angry. I almost had harsh words to the person who gave me the news, because I was like, oh, how could that person have done that? But now when I think back, gosh, it's not that, I mean, it's not.
Plus, it could be their negativities. Maybe I'm not saying putting words, but it could be that person is a bit jealous of you. That person wants to prove a point. So it's his. Another thing I just wanted that was coming out is like Dhammajiva would say, is his kakka. That's his problem, not mine. Yeah, just leave it. In fact, it's not you. Even in this Dhamma world, Gyanta, I'm experiencing the same, like with someone who is very close to me, like you and me. And I read an email and I think, my goodness, this is so unbearable, unbelievable. And I could wait without replying, because that doesn't warrant a reply. And no reply says everything, because they want a reply to go around, hit you, do that to make you topple you. So no reply, no sound. And what do they feel? Small. So your actions, and then you need to be very wholesome inside. No one says about your worth. One opportunity doesn't define your worth or anything like that. So, and you'll have so many opportunities. And if you let go and say, okay, you all do it, I will watch you. That's being, very wholesome inside. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, yeah, you can at one level just let it go, or you can approach that person. That's up to each individual, I think. But whatever you do, what you're saying is do it with a steady mind and
Yeah.
without emotion.
But I would get my mind very steady, not emotional, really, really work on me, really work on myself. And then I will say, I'm going to not confront, have a discussion to save the situation. If you had a relationship with this person, like a boss and whatever, friend or whatever, to save that relationship, I will have a discussion. So you're not attacking, you're not expecting, but you're having something to understand each other. He'll say something that will make it better, or he'll say, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I forgot you, or something. We don't know. But you go and do it, act and work it out. I wouldn't kind of leave it open as well. I will want to sort it out because you're working with him in future in the same establishment. Yeah.
Thank
I
you,
don't know
Shiroma.
if anyone else want to add something, but that's the way everybody faces this. Now and again, however much you meditate, you can get someone behaving bizarre. And then that another clip there is saying, who did I do this to? Ask that. If someone slaps you, ask, who did I slap? If someone is swearing at you, ask, who did I swear at? That's coming back to me. All that we do comes back to us. So these little situations will come back, but not that way. Less suffering for you. Because you've taken the whole thing, I must have done this, so I'll sort it out. It's not his fault. So you don't have anger towards him. That's number one. You don't have anger towards him when you think like that. Yeah? So, yes. So how we've gone past time now, isn't it? Others are okay? Hiranti, Tilani?
Yeah, thank you. It's
Okay,
nice.
we were listening to it.
Yeah.
Learned a lot.
Okay, lovely. Yeah.
Shiroma, I just want to say thank you, because my daughter was in exactly the situation, and now you're saying you're now in it, and Dianta has just had it. My daughter has had it for the last 2 years. The difference is that person who is there is her overall manager, so directly above, complete manager. Also, that person is very damaged because had been abused, so she's psychologically scarred. So it's not a question of body did.
Yeah.
So when she had this, because of her practice, she did exactly what Dhammajiva Handru and them all told, right, to do. And she said no. What happened during the almost 2 years that she did this was that person now needs a punch bag, because that person is mentally really upset, right? Done for many things. Everybody has left. Only because of a practice, she stomached it, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was that by doing exactly what the radical accepted, all the things that you said, right? Choice to survive or don't. What that person now realized that whatever she does, whenever she was irritated, she used my daughter as a punch bag, because she wouldn't say. And at the end of almost a period of 2 years, wasn't it? What happened was everyone else realized that was the makeup. So in other words, you will accept and you will do it, right? Everyone else also started then making that she was. So then she actually went to a Harvard course, and she went because she had never done management and she had never done leadership. She had always done the highest skill in her own field, gone all over the world, never done that. So she managed, and I think the firm paid for her to do that because for the professional development. And she spent a whole year, and they taught her beautifully that all that is good, but all the Dhamma, but you don't have to go to Harvard. But this thing that when you say that, first you must work on yourself to be in that place where the judging mind, the mani, the conceit and words, and the anger, the I, me, and mine is not there. You've got to be in that place where there is no emotion, because otherwise, if we say something, which is what they're waiting for, and then it gets this real adipudi fight, right?
Yeah.
Once you're practicing this, and also time also is, but main thing is a practice. And when you go and when you're very steady in that feeling, you can go there, but you gently make them know, and you say very gentle things without coming from I, me, and mine. And he was told to say that you said this thing, and I felt humiliated, or I felt ignored. I felt very uncomfortable. You could have called me and said this. You said it in front of my colleagues. Right? You can just mention that only when you have reached that state that you know that you are not having it.
Very good.
When you say that, and when she actually said that, others soon began to realize that and actually, even when, I mean, in that case, it was 100% bullying, but nobody dared to go. But this thing actually works. And what you're saying. So I just want
to look up to you. And
that's what also happened. Now, everyone is looking up to her, because she's saying that this, but she hadn't stirred, and the respect and the regard for her in the deep, it took a long time, has really risen up. So this Buddha's teaching and what the Dhamma and what you're saying, she actually proved it to it. And so I just want to say thank you, Shiroma. Thank you for for bringing this up, Adhyanta. This is something that everybody feels, that our generation, Shiroma, like us, and in your generation, like my daughter, but the Buddha's teaching is so perfect. Perfect. It's amazing. And she said, you have to pay and go to Harvard to learn this. But that's what, as she said, and it is their, as you said, their field, their kakagoda, right? Not yours, right? But you have to be in that, because the first time she said it, she at once, she came and said, no, you told me to do that, so I'm going to go. And she said something which showed that she had come from irritation. She didn't say anything bad. That ruins the whole thing. And when she went, and when she went to another doctor and a lawyer who helped her with it, they said, the lawyer said, yes, you should have said, because they go always first. But the psychologist, who was also the doctor, she said, no, what got at you is your ego. You had a need to go over. And she said,
be nonchalant.
Nonchalant. But make them know at the end when you're at that level. So, Gyanta and Shiroma, thank you so much. These life lessons are priceless.
Thank you, Gyanta, for the session.
Thank you, Gyanta.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Shiroma, for a wonderful session today of meditation and practical advice on the Bojjhanga. Particularly, I think a really important point you mentioned as well was that all the Bojjhangas are simultaneous, and it's about sort of fulfilling the path and then moving there rather than sort of cherry picking here and there. So I think that was also a very interesting aspect of the Bojjhanga Dhamma you explained today. So again, may you be blessed with good health and happiness and peace of mind and progress on the path for all the good merit. And also thank you everybody else who has joined the session today. And we will see you back next month for the next session.
Yes. Thank you, Gyanta. You look after yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Saranai.
Bye-bye.
Sarvat Saranai. Thank you.
Saranai.